to the whole of this afternoon, a charity afternoon in aid of Help the Aged. Well, of course, the England selectors' surprise decision to hold a trial on Saturday has robbed Bath of some of their star players, but the very idea that this great West Country club wouldn't be able to field a team worthy of this occasion is, of course, preposterous, as we shall see in a moment. We will have a look at the teams, we'll whet our appetite in the company of special guests, and then we will be seeing the whole of the action, Cardiff against Bath. But first, of course, we have to extend a traditional Welsh welcome to our West Country visitors, and today we have on duty not one but two ensembles at Cardiff Arms Park, the familiar St Albans Military Band under John Williams and the Cardiff Athletic Choir under Bill Cooper. Which of you two is going to conduct?
Me, I am.
Go ahead then. Happy New Year to you all, and get on with the music.
Thank you.
Well, I bet that makes our West Country visitors tremble a bit, but I don't think that would include the former England prop, Mike Burton, who's come here especially to be with us. What we're a bit disappointed about is this England trial on Saturday. It's taken a lot of Bath stars away. Is it really necessary? Are you that panic-stricken?
Yeah, I'm afraid we are. I saw all the divisional matches, and there are one or two questions unanswered, you know. I think they do need a trial. We don't know about the full-back outside half, one or two positions in the back row. I think it was essential.
Your own club, Gloucester, are having a great period of the time, but visitors here today, Bath, also the West Country, they have been a bit special for a couple of seasons.
Yeah, they've been special. I have to say they lost to Gloucester at home this year, but in the last sort of half a decade, they've proved themselves to be the best team in England, certainly, and I would say possibly, arguably, in Great Britain.
Well, someone next to you might argue that point. Phil Bennett?
Well, I've watched them twice this year, David, and this season they've lost to Lechley at home, got demoralised at Neath, so I'm hoping for good things today, and I'm sure with the side they get out, they'll do well.
What do you think of the whole idea of a charity cup challenge? Because remember, St Lechley have won the cup 5 times, 4 times on the trot in the 70s.
I think it's a great idea. We can test our strength against the best in England and the best in Wales. The atmosphere here is marvellous, the choir. Let's hope it's a great game, and I'm sure things will go on from here, from strength to strength, really.
Thank you both very much. Well, you two off up to the commentary box now, and as if to underline the point that Phil has just made about Bath's and Cardiff's capacity to entertain, let's underline that by looking at tries they respectively scored against Victims Coventry during this autumn. Sit back and enjoy tries by Mark Ring, Tony Swift, Stuart Barnes and also Adrian Hadley. Right, well, some of that try-scoring capability could well be on show here at Cardiff Arms Park this afternoon. Let's find out exactly who is involved today, the teams, from match commentator Martin Williams.
And a happy new year to you all, and we have some excellent conditions here on this first day of 87. We've even had a bit of sunlight in Cardiff during the last hour or so. So 7 internationals are included in the Cardiff team, with John Scott's withdrawal with a shoulder injury making way for Robert Lakin at number 8. Mark Ring is still recovering from flu, so finds himself named as a reserve, but Cardiff is still able to name an international centre combination. Geraint John and Graham Pritchard team up for the 6th time this season, and in the pack, Cardiff welcome back Jeff Whitefoot after missing 4 games. Michael Parry, a youth international last season, partners Robert Gorster at lock, with Owen Golding, Gareth Roberts and Robert Lakin making up the back row. So Cardiff had 9 of the side that was so comprehensively beaten by Bath last year. 28 points to 9 was the score on that day, and the Bath captain, Richard Hill, perhaps unwisely began talking of doing the double over Cardiff. Well, we all know that the Bath club have been forced to leave out their best players, 13 of them for the England and Scots trials. So what's left in the Bath cupboard? Well, 3 internationals for a start: Chris Martin, Tony Swift and John Palmer, today's captain. All of the Bath 15 have appeared in the first 15 this season, and the Bath selectors say it's not the weakest they've selected, but there are a few unfamiliar names, of course. Alan Buzzer in the centre is a student at Loughborough. Steve Knight at scrum half was in the Bath youth team last season. Nick Maslin is the Bath United captain, and the front row is a reserve combination as well. The 2 locks, Chris Blake and Damon Cronin, are young but both over 6'4", and at number 8, Colin Bevan, a Welshman from Flint, would you believe, comes in for David Egerton, who's been called up by England.
Well, this is the very handsome Gas Challenge Charity Shield that Cardiff and Bath will be competing for this afternoon, a historic occasion, the first time this has ever been up for grabs on New Year's Day. And nobody seems quite to know whether it's destined to become an annual event, but I bet that the club representatives I've got with me now, senior representatives, think that this inaugural one is a pretty good idea. Cardiff's senior selector, CD, Derek Williams.
Yes, David, we're very thrilled at this inaugural match, and we certainly are looking forward to the match being repeated every year.
Bath did you a couple of months ago quite heavily.
Yes, that's quite right. We're only sorry that they haven't got their full team out today for us to reciprocate. On the other hand, of course, we're on a hiding to nothing, because if their second team can do this to us or can beat us, well, certainly that'll cause problems for my colleague over here, who's a selector for Bath. And
welcome to you, and you're?
Brian Jenkins.
Brian, nice to have you with us. What do you think of the idea of a charity shield game?
Very good idea.
Are you disappointed, though, about the fact that you couldn't put your full team up?
Very disappointed. On a big occasion like today, we should have had a full team here, and the England selectors should have been here today to see this game if they want to learn anything, rather than a Twickenham effort on Saturday.
It's a little bit muddy underfoot. You got a mat down here, but what sort of rugby do you think the 2 sides will be able to put on?
I'm sure it'll be a very good rugby, a good open game, I hope. I think that's the only way we can play it today. Hope for the best.
And we've got to say, may the better team win. Thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Sit back and enjoy it up in the committee box. And on a day like this, and with weather such as we've had, there's always one man in particular that one is grateful to, and it's the groundsman, and here's dear old Albert Francis.
Hello,
and somehow
Dave.
you've got it ready.
Well, you know, this 2 o'clock this morning, I didn't think we'd have a hope, but it's tried out very well. We're probably on the worst part now, but out in the middle there is quite good.
These 2 teams, whenever they come here, they either seem to have a cloudburst or it's frostbound.
Yes, but they always seem to turn on a good game, and that's the main thing, Dave.
You're a very busy man now, Albert.
Absolutely, yes.
You'd better scamper and do what else you have to do. I'm going to be joined with another couple of guests in a moment, and indeed, here he is. And this is a very important and a very honoured guest this afternoon, because this is Tom Lewis. And Tom, a very, very senior Cardiff RFC player. When was your period with the club?
1924 to 1932-3.
A wonderful era.
Yes.
Who were your contemporaries?
Oh, Dr. Tom Wallace, Ozzy Cornish, Ozzy Mail, Arthur Cornish, Danny Davies, and all the boys. They were a wonderful bunch of boys.
What was your position?
Prop. Idris Richards was our captain, my first captain. He was great.
Well, if you were a prop, do you feel capable of doing the special job you've got to do this afternoon?
Yeah, but they'll have to scrum back because it'll be a token kick-off.
Well, it's a lovely white ball. You didn't have balls like that in those days.
Oh, there's nothing to compare with our ball. We had
Tom
leather.
Lewis, we're very privileged indeed to have you with us. You've got a job to do in a moment. But if I'm caught here by Clive Norling, who is going to referee this game, I'll be in big trouble. So I think that we ought to rejoin now Martin Williams in the commentary box. He's up there with Mike Burton and Phil Bennett.
Well, Phil Bennett, the conditions this afternoon, not ideal, but as good as we could expect, because we've had heavy rain right over the Christmas period. But fair play to old Albert Francis, he's done the trick again.
Yes, considering the rain, as you say, the pitch is in remarkable condition. But you know, I'm looking forward. I've watched Cardiff 5 times this year, and I want to see Hayden Adley have the ball because he's a tremendous player, and I want to see the Cardiff midfield give him plenty of ball. And the biggest thing for me, we've been saying for 2 years that Robert Noster is a world-class second row. You know, let's see him win a lot of ball today. Let's see him show that he can be a great player. And, you know, Bath, with a lot of changes, but I'm sure they'll compete. And, you know, the atmosphere is here. It's a marvellous occasion. Let's hope the football matches it, really.
Well, there's a little bit of sunlight. Would you believe 87 can't be all that bad? I mean, I know we've had a bit of rain this morning, but look at that sunlight, the crowd over there. Not exactly shirt-sleeve weather, but, well, they'd welcome that little bit of warmth.
Well, yes, it's nice that it stayed dry. I was at St Helens yesterday watching Llanelli and luckily go down to Swansea. But really...
I wasn't going to mention that, Phil Bennett.
No, yeah, but it's lovely. The weather is lovely. It's been a great occasion. It's nice. Everybody's in a happy, festive mood. And let's hope we can see a great game of football.
Well, up in the stand there, we have some of the Bath 15 who, or the first 15 that is. I've seen Gareth Chilcott, the England prop, coming into the crowd together with some of the fellows who will be in action at the England trial over the weekend. I don't know whether David Soul is here, the one man who's going up to Scotland for the trial at Murrayfield. But I just wonder, Phil, is it going to be difficult for Alan Phillips to motivate this Cardiff side?
Well, I wouldn't think so, really, because they lost to Pontypridd, didn't they, over Christmas? They lost, or they drew with Bridgend 9-all. So if I were Alan Phillips, I'd be saying we got murdered in Bath earlier on in the season. Let's go out and show how well we can really play. And I don't think it matters, really, that the Bath players aren't here. It's a great tragedy that they're not here, because they are a marvellous side. But I'm sure these boys... But, you know, they're not playing the star players. But what I'm saying is that these boys will go out and try their very best for Bath today. And I'm sure Alan Phillips will need no encouragement to sort of say to the lads, let's go and have a convincing victory over Bath. And I'm sure the Cardiff boys will be, the Cardiff lads will be keyed up to do well.
Well, I'd be very interested in the performance of the Cardiff 15 the first 20 minutes, because a little bird has told me that they had a fancy dress New Year's Eve party last night. So I suppose girding their loins, they might have a little bit of difficulty getting going.
Well, I don't know. I know that the England team had a fancy dress party before they played in the test match out in cricket out in Australia. They did very well. Let's hope that Cardiff can do very well. But it's all about people raising their game. It's an awkward day, but I'm sure that they're going to do. Alan Phillips will be there getting the players, because there's places to play for Wales today.
So here come the teams, with Bath being led by John Palmer, 3 caps. He was last season's captain, of course, in the John Player Cup final. And up against him, ironically, this afternoon, is Richard Cardus, who was the captain of the Wasps in that final as well. So Bath with 3 internationals, Chris Martin at full-back, Tony Swift on the wing, and then John Palmer. That's the international trio. Here come Cardiff in unfamiliar strip. Red shirts, Alan Donovan going past camera, Golding, Roberts, Hadley, Gerald Cordwell, and the last man out, Robert Noster. And looking for a big performance from Robert Noster, the captain, Alan Phillips, trotting around on the field alongside Jeff Whitewood, coming back after an absence of 4 games. So both teams on the field.
About refereeing a charity game?
Oh, I'm looking forward to it very much. If it's as good as last year, David, it'll be a cracking game.
Are you in a charitable mood as far as the laws are concerned?
We'll see this afternoon.
Enjoy it and take Tom with you. Good.
Go on, Tom.
Shall I take my quota?
Mr. Tom Lewis. Now, Tom, well known as many times supported, was he captain of the side in 1932-33, having gained his first team cap in 1923-24.
So the great band, the great gentleman, Tom Lewis, And of course, since the charity concerned is Healthy Aged today, very appropriate that the man who used to be a policeman in the Canton area of Cardiff now lives in Rugby. And now there we have a prop forward having a chat with a centre. So it'll be Tom Lewis to kick off. He tells me that he's been practicing at home, up against the sofa. The coat comes off and Tom Lewis is ready for action. 3 caps he got for Wales in 1926, 27. Now he's going with the wind, so we'll see what length he can get onto the leather as such. Clive Rowling whistles away. Lewis kicks. Will it reach the distance? Has it got there? No, it hasn't. Not to worry. Well, he really should have practiced a little bit more against the sofa, and he's quite annoyed with himself that he hadn't reached the 10-metre line. So Tom Lewis, the honoured guest on this great occasion to raise all this money for Healthy Aged. We've had the ceremonies, as Tom Lewis explains exactly to Clive Rowling, that the wind wasn't quite sufficient for him. And one wonders whether Tom Lewis might make a certain comment about Clive Rowling's new hairdo. It created a certain amount of controversy down at Stradey Park a week ago. It's a sort of curly creation, really. A half afro, I suppose, but well, we'll check with him later to see who the hairdresser is. But it's Bath ready to kick off in this first half, going with the wind. And the kick-off being taken by the outside half, Phil Q. And so it'll be Gerald Caudle to minor the ball as Cardiff gets set to go against this wind in this first half. It's a pretty strong wind as well, coming off the River Taff. Cardiff giving the ball to Geraint John. And everybody looking for a big performance from young Geraint John. Well, he just about gets over to Chris Blake over the 25-metre line. Knight is back there. Out it goes to Phil Q, and the high boots. That's going to test Mike Rea, the Cardiff fullback. He's under it, but the kick is a little bit too long. The wind too strong. And Phil Q, the former Bristol fullback and outside half, quite a prolific point scorer indeed for Bath this season. 87 to his credit. Geraint John to restart. So Cronin. Knight puts a high kick up. Norster goes through on him, but it's taken by Gareth Roberts. As Cardiff go rush through with Graham Pritchard waiting for the service, gives it to Geraint John. Nice little grubber kick. So a line out just inside the Bath half. Geraint John, the Cardiff outside half, lining up. Alan Phillips, Cronin in the middle of the line out for Bath. Plays for the Anglo-Scots. And up they go. Knight gets hold of the ball. Out it goes to Phil Q. Will Bath run it? Surely they do. To Palmer on the far side. And up comes Chris Martin. A lovely little pass back to the Bath captain. Up comes Rea of Cardiff. Runs it into touch. Well, that's encouraging to see this depleted Bath side running the ball in the first 5 minutes. A good crowd enjoying that little piece of running action from Bath. Greg Bess, the Bath hooker, plays for Bath United, throwing the ball into the middle as they rummage around looking for the possession. Comes out on the Cardiff side to Geraint John. Out it comes to Cardiff, to Donovan. They bring in Rea as the extra man. He's got Hadley outside, but the grubber kick into the mud. But good possession work. Rea coming into the line. He loves doing that. So it'll be Greg Bess to throw in once again. And goes to the middle, looking for the height of Cronin and Blake, and Knight in a spot of bother. Young youth player. Suddenly is swift to get the ball back to Phil Q, and that one going out on the full, unfortunately for Bath. Phil Q, the kicker. So it's Alan Phillips to throw, looking at Gareth Roberts, Robert Lakin at the back. Just inside. Bath Hart, Gloucester, two-handed. Back it comes to Geraint John. Donovan, they've got Ray coming in as the extra man. Cardiff half-held on the 10-metre line. But good work by Cardiff, had the strength to get the ball away to Geraint John. And there's a break on the halfway line. He's got Hadley going inside. Still Geraint John, Hadley. And a good cover tackle by Chris Martin on Adrian Hadley. So Geraint John probing the gaps in the Bath defence. So Knight with the feed inside the Bath 22. And it's a high kick. It's going to be carried by the wind. Rare underneath it. Doesn't take his eye off the ball. And has returned the compliment, but not such an accurate kick. And nearly decapitating the Western Vale photographer. On the 10-metre line, it'll be Greg Bess, who appeared for Bath in 2 John Player Cup finals. And it's Golding at the back, going forward a couple of metres, setting it up for Graham Pritchard. Roberts lying off, but well held by the Bath back row. Colin Bevan, the man who came in as a rate replacement for David Egerton, doing well, catching the Welsh international. Chris Folland, Greg Bess, and Chris Lilly, the Bath front row. Seasoned campaigners, all of them, and will not be overawed by this occasion at all. Pritchard with a high kick. Perhaps an unwise one with the strength of this wind. The ball coming back, Geraint John with a lovely scrum half pass to Donovan. Donovan going up towards the 22. Hadley inside, but it's Roberts who takes hold of the ball. Alan Phillips, will Phillips get there? The Cardiff captain, short to the line. Clive Walling is there. No try. Well, Alan Phillips, the grand old poacher, looking for a try. 14 seasons he's played for the Cardiff club, and in his very first game he came on as a wing replacement. Pritchard, ideal position for Geraint John, perhaps to try and drop goal. Cardiff, the first tackle has been missed, there's the second, and he needs to link up with Jeff Whitefoot, who sets it up for Graham Pritchard on the short line to Geraint John. And it's a splendid tackling by Bevan, the Welshman for Bath. Halts the Cardiff movement, but we're still in motion as Cardiff go in, and then finally the whistle from referee Clive Dawling. So a couple of metres short of the Bath try line. Pritchard with the feed, Cardiff goal. Hadley poises in the back row. Cardiff content to hold the ball in the back row. Lakin to Pritchard, and Bath still denying Cardiff that first score. And suddenly he's picked up by Swift. Out it goes to the centre on the far side. Alan Buzzer, the left-footed kick for Gerald Caudle, and Bath have done exceptionally well to relieve the pressure. But Caudle in motion up toward the 10-metre line. He's got Geraint John outside. Won't win any New Year cards for that one. A bit disappointing since he had the support of 2 men outside. So it's Bath having survived that period of pressure. Let's see what Gloucester can do about this Bath throw-in. Goes to the back, gets tapped down by Cronin. He's had a couple of tap downs so far. He's picked up on the far side by Buzzer. The left-footed kick once again. Rare underneath it, into the sunlight. The switch move to Hadley. And Hadley, oh, what an exceptional run by the wing. And he's got 1 man outside. It's Richard Cardiff. Cardiff's taking the pass back inside of Gareth Roberts, but a knock-on by Gareth Roberts. Well, Phil Bennett, there's plenty of life in this Cardiff side.
Yes, and it's nice to see Adrian Hadley having the ball. A lovely switch by Rhea, and Hadley shows what he can do when he's got space. A tremendous run out to Caudle, and only the knock-on robs Cardiff of a try.
Well, since it was a running movement, Mike Burton, your thoughts on that one?
Well, really the way this is developed now is it's going to be sort of a holiday atmosphere. So they've set the game off with sort of happy music, and the rugby's the same way, because Bath, despite the fact they've got this great win behind them, they're struggling, and in the second half I think all augurs well for a high-scoring victory for Cardiff.
There's the big man that you would know all about, Richard Cardiff, but a good cover tackle by Bath there, taking the big man down.
Yes, unfortunately, because Golding just got a hand to it, couldn't quite hang on to it, but really, you know, Bath struggling now, you know, no points on the board, can't score with this win behind them.
So Bath with a put in under pressure, Cardiff putting the shove on in the scrum, but the ball comes back to the outside half, Phil Q, and neatly done by the Bath outside half. So a line out just inside the 22. Alan Phillips, hand on hips. So Cardiff going against the wind, and so far taking the pressure to Bath. Up goes Michael Parry on the short side. It's Gareth Roberts on the turn as they set it up. Graham Pritchard waiting for the possession, but frustratingly for Cardiff, the whistle goes, and so a put in for Cardiff, and this one in a good attacking position. So Geraint John all set to bring his three-quarters into motion once again. Olympia back row move because Golding has detached himself. It's Golding trying to get in concert with Robert Lake, and the ball comes back for Pritchard. Anybody's ball. Cronin doing a lovely little scrum half pass. And suddenly it's Chris Martin with a long kick way down into the Cardiff half, and that's a marvellous kick from Chris Martin, former England international, 4 caps to his credit, and he would have enjoyed that kick.
And it was good play by Chris Martin, because they were under pressure behind their own line, and a 70 or 80 metre kick has put their forwards in good heart right down to the Cardiff 22.
So that massive kick from Chris Martin takes Bath down deep inside Cardiff territory, just outside the 22. Phillips with a throw. Robert Dorster in the middle, getting ready to jump up high. He gets the first tap with the ball to Pritchard. Geraint John under pressure. The whistle goes from referee Clive Dowling. The ball not thrown in straight, so it's an attacking scrum to Bath. Blackmore, Phillips and Whitefoot, the Cardiff back row. Light with a feed. The youngster, a 20-year-old, the Bath scrum half. Gets it out to the more seasoned Phil Q on the far side. Palmer to Martin, and he's got Blackett outside. But it's Chris Martin. Well, this could be a dramatic try. Caudle is back there for Cardiff. The ball is minored. No obstruction, says referee Clive Dowling. It's going to be a dropout 22. But lovely work and a lovely incursion into the line by Chris Martin. And Cardiff is unmarked. And not under a great deal of pressure, and Caudle remonstrating. So Richard Cardiff not all that pleased with that quickly taken 22. So Knight with the put in, the disruptive shove comes from Cardiff. They've got one against their head, and it comes to Geraint on to Cardiff. He's a big man, and he gets the ball away once again. Rea with Hadley outside. Hadley in the mud. It'll be difficult to get going there. He does well, knocks Phil Q sideways. As Bath win good possession. Out it comes to Phil Q. One wonders whether he might have used the passing option. Caudle underneath it. Takes it at the second time of asking. He's in a spot of bother, gets it away to Rea. Cardiff, and Cardiff quite content to play a certain amount of basketball inside their own 22. Much to the delight of the crowd, of course. And suddenly, Mr. Norling brings a halt to it. Well, certainly Cardiff playing a dangerous game inside their own 22, but much to the delight of this large crowd, Phil Bennett.
Yes, and that was incredible, the loud cheer then from the Cardiff crowd when the ball went high to Gerald Caudle, you know, but he did take it very, very well. And I remember his uncle Tony Caudle playing, and he caught many great catches for Glamorgan. I'm sure Gerald Caudle will do just as well.
Well, rumour has it that Gerald Caudle has a nickname in this Cardiff camp. It refers to non-stick pans, actually. I won't name the company involved, but that's his nickname in the Cardiff camp. Owen Golding receiving treatment from Ron Ayres. Well, Mike Burton, Bath doing exceptionally well in a couple of the loose pieces, and that massive kick from Chris Martin bringing pressure back on Cardiff.
Yeah, they've tried actually to use this win. They've put quite a few high kicks up. Q is an experienced outside half, spent many years with Bristol, but really to no avail, and very ominous there. There was a strike against the head that put them under more pressure.
Well, here go Bath once again. It's Blackett and Knight together on that short side, and taking the pressure back into Cardiff inside the 22. So it's Alan Phillips to throw, and he has the option, of course, of Michael Parry jumping at the front of the line-out. All 6'5" of him went with the Welsh youth team to Canada, but he goes for Robert Norster in the middle, and it's anybody's ball as Cardiff and Graham Pritchard wait for the service. Pritchard, sort of a scoop pass really out to Geraint John, and the kick is not a long one, but it's safe. Geraint John travelled up from West Wales for this match from Haverfordwest, his hometown. So it's Greg Bess, the Bath hooker, to throw in. He's got his tall men of Chris Blake at number 4 and Damien Cronin. Ball a little bit loose at the back there, picked up by Q on the far side, and a wild pass to the captain Palmer. Flips going through very quickly indeed. So everything not going Alan Phillips's way at the moment. Cardiff have created the opportunities for a couple of tries, but nothing to show for it on the scoreboard as yet. Knight, and the shot coming from the Cardiff 8. Phil Q with an attempted drop goal. It looks a neat one, it looks a handy one, and it's there. Bath go into the lead. Phil Q with a drop goal, and that's his 3rd drop goal of the season. Well, Phil Bennett, most unexpected.
Well, we can see that Bath mean business, and Phil Q's an experienced campaigner, played for Bristol for many years, plenty of time, strikes it beautifully, and straight between the posts, just what Bath needed, 3 points.
Well done, Phil Q. In fact, he's the only man in the Bath side who has kicked drop goals this season. 3 to his credit so far. So Bath in the lead, and number 3, Chris Lilly there, not getting hold of the ball after the kick-off. So problems really for Cardiff and Alan Phillips. But on the other hand, we must remember that the strength of this wind is keeping Bath, taking Bath into the Cardiff Park with these massive kicks from Phil Q and Chris Martin. Rather heavy turf to get the studs going. So it's Pritchard to Geraint John. They miss out Amanda Cardiff on the far side of Rhea. Blackett is up there with a tackle, but here goes Caudle. Caudle up against Chris Martin. Has Caudle got the speed to get round the former England fullback? Just about in the nick of time. Chris Martin gets suspended. Ankle tap tackle. Good covering work by the former Bath University fullback. So it's Greg Bess on the far side, on the 22. Knight under pressure, little chip kick. Here goes Caudle. The ironic cheer goes up once again. Rhea to Alan Donovan. The switch move, trying to create space on the far side. Caudle, and it's going to be a high kick. And that could be an useful kick because the wind will bring it back. Martin takes it beautifully and is prepared to run with the ball. Up towards the 22, Q takes hold of possession, a nice little dummy, and Swift of all people misses the pass. Clive Norling calling a halt to the proceedings because we have an injury to Chris Martin, the full-back, the man who's so instrumental in that counter-attack.
And Cardiff trying to play enterprise in rugby. Alan Donovan got on the switch, and again we just look for the cheer when Caudle gets the ball, puts a high up and under. But we must remember that Chris Martin, playing at full back for Bath, has played for England on many occasions, and he's a very, very good player, and he looks to attack from inside his 22, and he's a very fast man. He draws the cover, cue dummies, but they're knock on, and that's when Bath lose it.
So a halt to the proceedings with the Bath trainer on the field giving attention to Chris Martin. And one must say, having watched Bath train on Monday night, Chris Martin is a real fitness fanatic and will want to stay on the field. He wins just about all the sprints in the Bath training sessions, especially the 400-metre ones. Lakin to Graham Pritchard, and Pritchard's kick, despite being a low one, went out on the full, so back they come. Disappointment from the young product of Llanharan. So it's Greg Bess to throw in for Bath once again. Going for Cronin at the back, but Forster goes through, looking for possession for Cardiff. Pritchard, a nice little scoop pass. The mix and the miss move in the middle, and the switch move to Richard Cardiff. He's been well held by the Bath cover. Some good tackling in the Bath centre. So it'll be a scrum just inside the Bath 10-metre line. Well, plenty to enthuse about for this large crowd. Not a good running rugby. Pritchard with the feed just inside the 10-metre line. As Lakin waits. Pritchard, Geraint John. The option's been called by the West Wales outside half to Alan Donovan. Back inside of Gareth Roberts. It's the old Swansea combination at work for Cardiff. Roberts goes to ground just inside the 22-metre line. But in fairness to Bath, the tackling has been of the highest quality so far. One wonders whether they can keep it up in the second half when Cardiff will be going with the wind. But so far, it's been excellent. Pritchard. And they've got some problems with the delivery between back row. And an exchange of words between Kevin Withy and Graham Pritchard. Nothing very serious at all. Pritchard with a feed on the 22-metre line, making content to hold the ball in once again. Now picks it up, Pritchard, and he missed his outside half, but the option call was for a return pass to Lakin. Cardiff making some heavy weather of this possession. Geraint John with the feed to Donovan outside, and Cardiff is again eventually with the try. The try scored by Richard Cardiff, and that's his 5th try of the season. It's been a long time in coming. But I suppose with all the possession that Cardiff are getting, it was somewhat inevitable, and Cardiff take the lead 4 points to 3 with a conversion to come. So Richard Cardiff enjoying that try, and
this is all about passing really. Pritchard goes on a dummy run, but look at this, there's the pass, that lovely pass by Donovan, sets Cardiff through, and he's a strong man. 20 metres ago, he's under the post for an excellent Cardiff try.
Relatively simple kick for Geraint John, 122 points to his credit so far this season. Slots it over nonchalantly but accurately. So Cardiff go into the lead by 6 points to 3. I suppose, Mike Burton, that was somewhat inevitable. Well, obviously Mike Burton is having some difficulty in hearing us above the din of this rather enthusiastic Cardiff crowd, more so now, of course, with Cardiff into the lead by 6 points to 3. So it'll be Phil Q to restart. Q, who has possibly the most unusual occupation in the Bath side, an undertaker, in conjunction with the old Bristol favourite Austin Shepherd. So it's Q with a long kick into the sunshine, and that most welcome on a rather windy, cold day. So away come Cardiff once again. 3 points in the lead. Geraint John. It's a nice little drop out. Just falling into no man's land as Withy goes back there, tries to recover for Bath. As Cardiff pile in, they have the possession once again. And Geraint John surrendering the possession. Tony Swift going through. Raya is there, does well, does the Cardiff full-back. Brave little play by the diminutive full-back, but Cardiff under pressure from Bath until the whistle from referee Clive Lawling. So an attacking scrum for Bath. And the put in by Steve Knight. And indeed, well, there's the gnawing curly creation once again. It catches the wind very nicely indeed. And just having a chat with Chris Folland, who is a former Bristol player, seems to have been winded somewhat in that movement. He seems to be okay now and will rejoin his colleagues of Greg Bess and Chris Lilly in the front row. Nothing too serious, and a pat to the back from Nick Maslin. So it's Steve Knight with the put-in. Cardiff putting on the disruptive shove. Life is very difficult for the Bath 8 to get hold of this possession. But suddenly they have it, a good drive by the Bath 8. Out it comes to Phil Q, the missed move on the far side of Chris Martin. Chris Martin, a little chip for Peter Blackett. Will Blackett get there first? Blackett dives to the ball, but did he miss the ball? Yes, indeed. Oh, no luck at all for Peter Blackett. The try was there.
Beautiful play by Bath. Cardiff disrupting them in the scrum, giving them terrible time there, but Bath make good use of it, and they see that all at 6s and 7s, but when the ball eventually comes back, just watch for this chip ahead by Chris Martin. They move it sweetly, and here it goes. Look, a beautiful chip ahead, and the wings odds on to score. He's got to score to try, kicks it, he's going to score, but unfortunately he goes out of play.
Well, it's Bath in possession, but in trouble once again. The pick-up by John Palmer to the man who nearly scored a try, Peter Blackett, on that far side, and Cardiff have done well to come out of their own 22. Alan Buzzer trying to go through on the ball, but the ball still in play. As Raya goes back, will he look back inside? Does very well going along in the smallest of spaces. Good play by the Cardiff fullback, had very few options open to him. Michael Raya, 21-year-old, the former Welsh youth captain. So 3 points in it. And the line out some 10 metres outside the Cardiff 22. Ball coming back, or trickling back initially on the Bath side, but Cardiff doing well, recovering well. Referee Clive Lawling awarding a scrum. 15 metres infield, and more or less midway between the Cardiff 22 and the halfway line. Knight waiting for the possession from under the feet of Colin Bevan. Phil Q, again they miss out one man buzzer to Swift, and Swift has got some pace. Swift going up towards the 22, looking for the support, finds it from Withy. The back row man is there. If Bath can get it back, they could cause problems. Blake gets the ball out to Q. Q to Cronin. What's he doing in midfield? And the ball suddenly goes loose, so this could be dramatic. Well, after all, it is a charitable season and it's a charity game, and the players giving each other the ball and all adding to the excitement, of course. Well, Mike Burton?
I think, no, I don't think I'd have had the energy to be out with all that at all. Very difficult passage of play there, because Whitefoot has fallen in all sorts of difficulties at the scrummage, and that's where the problems are arising from Bath. If you notice, in the last 4 or 5 scrimmage, the tight head side, where all the pressure comes on your own put-in, has been wheeling back at a certain rate of knots, and it means that that Cardiff are having Bath under pressure in all sorts of departments then.
Knight scoops the ball to Q. Q with a long kick on the far side of Caudle. And there'll be more ironic cheers after that one. And Caudle eventually getting the ball in a touch, but the pressure now on Cardiff. So it'll be a throw-in for Craig Bess, and this indeed Bath's best attacking position to date. Best to throw, Cronin in the middle, and it's taken by Chris Holland. Pop forward, Bath do well. Out to Phil Kew, to John Palmer. This is good to Buzzer to Swift. Of course, Bath don't play with the number 13, so it's already confusing. But Swift, the number 15, being caught inside the Cardiff 22. Knight. Out it comes to Kew, to Palmer. There's more or less standing still at the Bath three-quarters. Under a lot of pressure, Cardiff coming up very early and halting the movement. Well, this is a good period for Bath, Phil Bennett.
It's very important to realise that Bath have a very strong wind, but you're quite right, they're playing very well, and when Martin comes in the line, they look very dangerous. They're giving Cardiff a very good game.
Well, let's see what Cardiff can do with this defensive put-in. And referee Clive Lawley is pointing towards an injury. Peter Blackett, the wing for Bath, has had a bit of a knock and calling on the Bath trainer. Well, Bath, at the moment, looking for a few points before half-time, Mike Burton.
Yes, and struggling really, because with this wind, really, they should in fact be points clear, and one has to say that in the second half it looks pretty well for Cardiff. They deserve their sort of a win, really, because they're playing champagne rugby. They're prepared to throw the ball about holiday style, and you know, I think it's refreshing to see in this sort of thing. But what does concern me is the scrummage for Bath, because there's no way they can survive in the second half against the wind, losing scrummage ball and going back like they are.
So here we are at yet another scrum. And Alling, a quick word with the front row clubs as Pritchard prepares to put the ball in. And Bath doing better at this scrum because they've kept tight as a unit of 8. Withy detaches himself. Geraint John in possession and against the wind gets a creditable kick into touch, just swirling it in. Young outside half from Haverfordwest. So it'll be Greg Bess to throw in just outside the 22. And Robert Gloucester lining up against Chris Blake in the middle of the line-out. It's a short one this time. Golding goes through, possibly one of the shortest men of the line-out, but got hold of that possession. Bath do well, they get hold of the ball. Tonight to Phil Kew, Buzzer, miss out a man to Palmer, the captain. Blackett is going to give chase, so too is Tony Swift, the extra man. Has he got the pace to get there? Will Bath get this try? Swift is there, a try. Oh, a great individual effort by Tony Swift, the former Swansea winner. And excellent work by the Bath three-quarters, and that deserves a huge round of applause.
And our Bath playing with tremendous commitment. Who said that they're 11 out of 12 international shot? These lads are playing their hearts out, and you see they win a ball here, which they never look like winning. But the key man is number 15, Tony Swift. He's on the blind side, but he's come into the line. Ball comes across, a lovely chip ahead by Palmer, and look at Swift showing good judgment. Tremendous pace there. There he goes, doesn't lose his head, keeps under control, over the line, and Nolan's on the spot. Tremendous try for Bath.
Phil Kew's kick is an accurate one, and a great joy for the small band of supporters from Bath, because Bath have now regained the lead, 9 points to 6. Well, full credit to them.
We can see the game from another angle, and look at Swift there. You can see him moving, working off the ball. It's all about working off the ball, and when Palmer, the captain, gets it, he puts a lovely chip ahead. There he goes, they're up in a line, and Swift, he's a very fast man. Remember his days in Swansea, showing tremendous pace. There's the post in the way a little bit, but he shows good control, and he's over for a marvellous try.
So the John Player League champions, or at least some semblance of the team that played at Twickenham, are in the lead at the Arms Park, and the Schweppes Cup champions trailing by 3 points. Well, that really is the muddiest part of the field, and the last man up is Damien Cronin, a 21-year-old, 6'5" of him. So another injury to one of the Bath players. This time it's the other prop forward, Chris Lilly, receiving some attention. And A very large crowd indeed gathered for this New Year's Day. Fortunately, it is a depleted Bath side, but most of the men will be at Twickenham, are in the stand. Graham Pritchard with a feed midway between the Bath 22 and the halfway line. Gets the ball and the line moving to Hadley, but suddenly they stop midfield. Pritchard trying to find his outside half, succeeds in doing so as well, but he's caught. And that try by Tony Swift has recharged the Bath batteries. But away come Cardiff once again. Gareth Roberts leading the charge over the halfway line. Up comes Alan Donovan, running straight into a wall of Bath defenders. Won't go anywhere there. And as they pile in, referee Clive Rawling asking for a bit of separation, and it'll be a scrum just inside the Bath 10-metre line. The last man up, Nick Maslin, the Bath United captain. Pritchard waiting. Going John to Cardiff, the big man, but that's a woeful pass, but it's picked up very well by Cordell on that far side. This could be dramatic. He's got hold of the ball up towards the 22. Knight, the scrum half, is back there. Cordell just runs through him. Martin, the last saving tackle, but the pass eventually comes to Graham Pritchard as Cardiff drive on the Bath line and wait for the possession, but it's Damien Cronin who comes away, hands it over to Blake, his colleague, the lock forward, and that smashing recovery by Bath, and suddenly they've got men spare. Swift, a long pass, out it comes eventually, and the kick, Hadley underneath it. Hadley going up against Alan Buzzer, back it comes to Alan Donovan, and he's got the support of Gary Johnson who required it. Donovan has scored a marvellous try, but let's give full credit to Bath, who wanted a counter-attack as well, who gave Cardiff that vital possession, but Donovan the try scorer, and that's his 4th try of the season. So Alan Donovan really enjoying that run.
And a magnificent passage of play there, and let's remember that Cordell set it up with a magnificent run, but Bath come away, you see, and they try to counter-attack. They're entering the spin. I think they play marvellously well. They want to attack. They're inside their 22, but here's where the crucial mistakes. Number 12, he fails to find touch, and in this standard of rugby, that cannot happen. And Hadley, although he knocks the ball on, he's got acres of space, and it's all about support play there. And Cardiff have got back in numbers, and there's Alan Donovan back there as a good centre should be. A slight dummy, and he's over. Lovely try by Cardiff, but what great play.
So it's Geraint John preparing the turf just outside the 22, a couple of metres outside it. A difficult kick against the strength of this wind, but well capable of slotting them over. 10 points to 9, just a point in it. So it's Geraint John coming round soccer style, thumps it. No, that's going to go way to the right of the post, so no points there, and Cardiff will have to be satisfied with the solitary point lead.
And years where the kick didn't find touch, and Hadley's so strong, stays in his feet, but it's all about support work and working hard off the ball. And there's Donovan, he gets his reward, lovely dummy, and he's going to score a try, and he's deserved that because he's got back to support Hadley.
So that try 4 minutes before half-time. It's Phil Q to restart. Ball going straight down to Graham Pritchard, who knocks it forward. Well, Mike Burton, there's life in these Bath limbs.
Yeah, they're playing really well. They're joining in the festive spirit, but Buzzer there, the unforgivable. They were so well-intentioned, tried to run the ball out, and they didn't find touch. Schoolboy stuff, really.
I'm not quite sure whether Bath would agree with you, but never mind. Knight has put the ball into the scrum. The pick-up, suddenly it's Q in midfield. Buzzer gets hold of the ball. There's a little bit of a break on here. Eventually it's Foley coming up the prop forward. Chris Martin chasing around. It suddenly comes to Robert Lakin, but he's in no man's land. He's got very little support, and eventually bundled into touch by Steve Knight.
I tell you what there, Martin, when Bob Lakin intercepted that pass, he saw it 70 metres ago, and he was terrified there.
So we have Jerry Guscott warming up for Bath. as a possible replacement on that far side. A couple of the Bath players really carrying some injuries. It could be a replacement for Peter Blackett, the wing for Bath, but at the moment another Bath player receiving attention. I wonder, Mike Burton, when
and Bath, you see, they're trying to play good football, and just look for this gap in the midfield. There's a long pass there, and look, he just strides through, no Cardiff defence, and it's only really that Gareth Roberts does well to stop it there. And here's the ball goes loose, and here's the moment I enjoy. Bob Lakin grabs it there. He thinks to himself, I got 70 metres to go, no chance. Unfortunately for him and Cardiff, the ball goes into touch.
Indeed, Jerry Guscott has come on for the injured Peter Blackett. So Bath bringing on one replacement. Greg Bess to throw in with a minute to go till half-time. Robert Lakin taking hold of possession, comes to Gareth Roberts. He'll try to forage forward and lay it back. And suddenly it's Parry, the youngster, to Robert Lakin. And Cardiff putting on a good forward movement, a good forward drive together, but suddenly the whistle from referee Clive Golding. So down they go for a scrum. We are now into injury time at the end of this first half. So Graham Pritchard with the feed just inside the Bath half, and away come Cardiff. Guy John to Raya, they miss out a man. Cardis wasn't quite expecting that pass with such alacrity on that far side. So Clive Norling having a good look at his watch. I wonder whether we might get this scrum underway before he blows up for the end of the first 40 minutes. Indeed. So in it goes from Steve Knight, the Bath scrum half, out to Phil Kew, and it's a lengthy kick using this wind very wisely indeed, and it's a mighty long kick. Raya back there chasing for Cardiff, and this is going to be a safety first kick into touch, and an accurate one. Referee Clive Golding marking the spot. Phil Kew, who's had a good afternoon, the first 40 minutes, using the wind very well indeed and bringing his three-quarters into motion. The shortened line out this one, Cronin at the back, takes hold of the ball, and Bath try to set up the second phase at the end of the line out, slightly to the left of the Cardiff post. This is an attacking scrum, so let's see whether Bath could put a try on before half-time and increase their lead. 10 points to neither score at the moment. So plenty of space on that far side for a thrust, and of course acres of space on this side. Knight has put the ball in, and they go on the short side of Phil Kew. He's got Chris Martin his side. Knight is there, and eventually it's the number 8, Colin Bevan, the Welshman, scores for Bath. Colin Bevan, the try scorer on that short side, and really created by young Steve Knight, and good combination. And who said that this was a depleted Bath side?
Tremendous play by the back row, and look, Kew goes on that narrow side, and this seems that there's no space there, but just look at this back row. There's the scrum half involved, and there's the number 8. He's done very well to get there, forces his way over. Tremendous play by the number 8 and Bath.
Well, great joy for the Bath camp. Some pretty tired looking men. Colin Bevan, who's played for Bath against London Welsh and Harlequins this season, has also played for London Welsh and comes from Flint in North Wales. The kick from Phil Kew is a good one. Well, my word. Oh, are we going to have a second half? Cardiff 10, Bath 15. Referee Clive Golding checking his watch. A great delight for Phil Kew with the extra 2 points. The problems for Cardiff, but one mustn't underestimate the strength of this wind, which Cardiff will enjoy in the second half. Good, John to restart. Cronin underneath it, supported by Blake, the 2 youngsters. As Cardiff try to turn this ball around have succeeded, but it goes to ground, and the shrill blast of referee Clive Nolling's whistle calling a scrum 10 metres outside the Bath 22. Bath 15, Cardiff 10, and Bath with very much a reserve side out. Not many people expected that scoreline. And it speaks volumes for their strength in depth that they've been able to put a side out like this. Pritchard. To Geraint John. Alan Donovan. Rears into the line, and the kick ahead is by Chris Martin. Jerry Guscott chasing the replacement. Caudle's back there for Cardiff. And the ball goes into touch. And we've had 4 minutes of extra time added on at the end of this first half. Referee Clive Noling once again checks his watch. And that is the whistle for half-time from referee Clive Noling. Well, full credit to this Bath side. It was an odd combination coming down to the Arms Park, but they've given us full value for money in this first half, with tries scored by Tony Swift and also by Colin Bevan. And the man really who's kept them plugging away has been the outside half-field Q. So it's Bath in the lead by 15 points to 10 at half-time. So let's join David Parry-Jones now, somewhere in this large crowd.
Well, I stand to be corrected by the commentators if I'm wrong, but I think we've just had 44 minutes of rugby without a penalty, which indicates Mr. Noling's charitable mood and says something for the players too. The crowd's in a great humour. Perhaps we should say they're in a charitable mood, and I've no doubt you'll have noticed the 2 buses at the tough end of the ground, and they themselves help to explain why this is a Charity Shield occasion. The idea can be attributed to the boards of British Gas on each bank of the River Severn, and their 2 chairmen, Tony Frith of the Southwest and our own Dudley Fisher. They took part in a ceremony before the kick-off that involved the buses. Dudley Fisher, the host on the right.
Myself, chairman of British Gas Wales, is with great personal pleasure to hand this key to you, Mr. Mayor, to represent the 2 pictures presented to the aged. Well, gentlemen, thank you very much indeed. We are very grateful at Help the Aged to British Gas Wales and British Gas Southwestern for the generosity of this gift. These 2 buses are the 274th and 275th buses that we are going to enable elderly people to use throughout the country as part of our national minibus campaign. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
So, Kenneth, it gives me tremendous pleasure as Director General of Help the Aged to present this key to the minibus for Age Concern Wales. It is the 274th minibus which we have been able to present in our national minibus campaign.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Director General of Help the Aged. As President of Age Concern Wales, I thank you very much indeed. This is a historic day when the 2 organizations that look after old people in the country come together at this presentation. And I'm deeply grateful to Age Concern for making this come about. We shall use this bus to great advantage.
Thank you very much indeed.
And Sir Kenneth Traherne is President of Age Concern in Wales. And incidentally, the other bus, that is destined to cross the Severn Bridge soon, and an identical ceremony will take place at Bath RFC next week. Maybe Mike Burton could drive the bus. He runs a huge travel business. Let's rejoin him and Phil and Martin.
Well, Mike Burton, do you fancy one of those buses over there? Could help you out a bit?
Very, very difficult to get about it these days, isn't it, Ian? But what a splendid gesture, though.
Yes, and what a splendid game, Mike.
Yeah, it's champagne stuff, as we said before. I'm surprised, really, that Bath have stayed in the game. They threatened to be, well, Cardiff threatened to submerge them at one stage. They've battled back, and that last try by Bevan just before half-time, a crucial score, puts them right back in the game, and now the stage is set for a superb second half.
So here we go once again. Geraint John to restart the game. Cardiff with the wind in the second half and trailing by 15 points to 10. John's kick goes straight to Phil Q. And it'll be a true test of the former Bristol player to kick against this wind in the second half. Plenty to cheer about for this enthusiastic crowd. So it's Alan Phillips recovering the ball and ready to throw in. And the tall figure of Robert Norster in the middle of the line, up against two pretty tall men, Chris Blake and Damien Cronin, number 4 and 5 in the Bath lineup as well. But Pritchard doesn't quite get hold of this one, and so the knock-on will give Bath possession and the put-in into the scrum. And the Bath United front row have kept plugging away against their more seasoned campaigners, but this time they lose the initiative. Lakin on the short side of Gareth Roberts, and frustratingly for this crowd, it's happened so often in the first half that possession has been lost just at the vital moment. So Knight with the feed on the 22. Freya comes across. What's he going to do with it? Puts up a high one, and the wind doesn't take this one. So it's in no man's land. So anybody's ball, but suddenly Cardiff have it to Geraint John. John with a kick. Chris Martin underneath, but he's under pressure. Hadley goes up, but a lovely take by Chris Martin, the Bath fullback. Martin gets the game underway very, very quickly indeed to full queue. Not wasting any time at all. Two or 3 meters outside the Cardiff 22. Alan Phillips giving the ball a good clean, and also giving the signals to the Cardiff 8. A long throw for Gareth Roberts, a good throw too, an accurate one, and Gareth Roberts has found some space at the back of the line-out. Lays it back as Cardiff pile in. Pritchard to Geraint John, looking inside for Donovan. Donovan gets hold of the ball, but runs into the Bath defence. Can Cardiff seize the initiative once again? Suddenly a few Bath hands all around there. Wonder whether Clive Norling might have given the first penalty of the game. The fly hack by Alan Buzzer creates problems for Gareth Roberts, caught underneath. Suddenly it's Richard Cardus up to the 10-metre line. He's got Caudle outside. Cardus making the space available, and the line of Caudle's run there, not to the satisfaction of the big former Wasps captain. Wanted the winger to come back inside a little bit quicker. Injury to one of the Cardiff players. Looks to me as if it's Jeff Whitefoot.
That's some great rugby here, and full credit to Clive Norling. He lets the advantage go, and he's trying to make an entertaining game, which it is. And Cardiff shows good strength, good speed, good on the outside, but just watch this tackle by Chris Martin, the full back. But look how strong this man, he gets to his feet and he stays there. He's strong enough to get the ball, tries to get the ball away. Look, there it is, ends there, but good play by Cardiff.
Gareth Roberts, the man injured, way on the far side, a shoulder injury. Well, Damien Cronin, we've seen a lot of him, and alongside him, Chris Blake. Chris Blake, who's a recruit from the old Bristolian club. Damien Cronin, a youngster, only 21 years of age, 6'5" of him. Clive Norling, taller than most packs around, is the Welsh international referee. Gareth Roberts rejoins his colleagues as Cardiff go down. Good attacking position. Deep inside the Bath 22, and a good drive by the Cardiff 8. Pritchard is there in attendance, ready to snap at the heels of the number 8, Robert Lakin, if need be. And a tremendous drive by Cardiff. A try has been awarded. Well, Kevin Withy doesn't agree. But Robert Lakin is the scorer. Mike Burton, your views on that try?
Well, ominous. We said halfway through their first half, you know, that Cardiff were getting on top of the scrummage, that Whiteford had fallen in all sorts of difficulties, and here it's paid off. You see, the scrummage in the last 20 minutes of the game always begins to tell, and now you see the Cardiff power pack there, driving, hold, driving. That's a long way to push, and I know as an old prop forward that hurts. Hold again. They've not collapsed, Bart. You see, they've held it, and there's Lakin finishing the move off. That's power scrummaging, and as we said in the first half, that's going to be difficult to contain in the second half of Bath, this young Bath pack, certainly with the wind in their faces.
So it's Geraint John right from the touchline. A difficult kick because the wind has picked up again, but that one might carry. It looks a good one. It's a superb kick. Oh, great joy for the crowd as Cardiff regain the lead by 16 points to 15. And Geraint John, immaculate from the touchline. Marvellous kick, that one. Very difficult one to convert. So Bath trailing by a solitary point once again, as Phil Q is all set to get the game underway again. Q, lovely accurate kick, that one. A good kick for his forwards to go through on. So Alan Phillips with the line-out throw midway between the Cardiff 22 and the halfway line. Gloucester goes up well. Pritchard scoops a pass out to Geraint John. And the tactic being used by John, self-evident. Martin misses the ball. Guscott gets hold of it. And a good kick by the youngster, right-footed, into touch. Jerry Guscott, who came on as a replacement for Peter Blackett in the first half. And there's the view for Alan Phillips, shouting the line-out signals to Graham Pritchard, the scrum half. The Cardiff players well aware of what he's about to do, but certainly it's Colin Bevan, and my word, he's had an influential part in this game, scoring a try and winning that line out to the back of the line out, and suddenly it's Tony Swift up towards the 10-metre line, but Cardiff get hold of possession. It's Donovan in the thick of things on that far side. But the whistle by referee Clive Dawley indicating a scrum just inside the Bath half. Steve Knight. Another put in. Bevan releases the ball. Swift on the far side. And it's not going to carry any great distance, that kick. Geraint John underneath. Took it very well indeed under pressure. So Cardiff attempting to drive Bristol back. Don't think they'll go for a pushover drive from here, but certainly gaining some ground on the Bath 8. And they've still got a hold of the ball and putting the movement together on that far side. Graham Pritchard, the last man to get hold of the ball. And I wonder what he had for Christmas. So it's Greg Bess, who's the Bath hooker. Cardiff driving across, and they've got the possession again, and again they make a bit of a hash of it, but it's Geraint John trying to make the most of a bad move to Gareth Roberts. And again the ball is knocked forward, but unsighted that time by referee Clive Dawley, but eventually blows up. No advantage to Bath. And it'll be a scrum just outside the 22. Oh, Cardiff getting a lot of possession, but not making the most of it.
No, they've dropped a lot of balls this afternoon in crucial positions, and really they could have had 3 or 4 more tries, but the handling has been sloppy.
Knight with the put in. Let's see what the Cardiff front row do. There's a good quick channel 1 heel by Bath. Out it comes to Phil Q. And the kicks to touch from Bath outside half. Well, it is a pretty cold afternoon. The lights have now come on, and unfortunately for all concerned, the sunlight has disappeared for the day. Cardiff, 16 points to 15 in the lead. It's as tight as that as Phillips throws. But suddenly is Chris Blake coming through for Bath. Good work, Cronin in support. They've been hyperactive, have the two locks throughout this afternoon for Bath. On the 10-metre line, it's Steve Knight having a good look at Graham Pritchard. Pritchard, the Cardiff scrum half. Then it comes to Geraint John, and he's sighted in some spaces. Chris Martin read it well though, and minus the ball under the watchful eye of Gerald Caudle. Geraint John has taken Cardiff with that kick though down towards the Bath 22. With the dropout. Pritchard to Lakin. Set it up once again, but the ball won't come out of there. Pritchard with the feed, and some 20 metres in from this near side touchline. A slow conversion here by Cardiff, picked up by Lakin though to Pritchard. Caudle. Muscat gets hold of Caudle though, and Cardiff barely move forward an inch.
And the 1 point out of picture, Aidan Adley is so disappointed that he's not having the ball. And you know, here we've got possibly one of the quickest wings in Wales, and Cardiff keep on going blind, and I just wish they'd give this man, he's dying for the ball, he's a match winner.
Yes, he doesn't look a happy man, does he? So it's Alan Phillips to throw, and the Bath locks do well. They get the ball away to Q on that far side to Buzzer. Buzzer, the half little break. The Cornishman doing well, getting the ball to John Palmer. And Bath, three-quarters, making the most of the spare possession that they get. It's Tony Swift on the far side. Tries to get the ball back to Q. Q with a little grubber kick. Rhea goes back for Cardiff. This will be a long kick from Rhea, surely. Yes, indeed, using the wind. Bath lining up in numbers. Knight the first time, doesn't quite get hold of it. Chris Martin, he wants to play basketball with Alan Buzzer on the far side. And still Bath putting the movement together, but suddenly an interception by Robert Polster to Geraint John. Now Hadley gets hold of the ball and gets away from the tackles. It's Hadley of the 10-metre line. He's grounded. Bath are there in numbers before the Cardiff 8, but suddenly Cardiff have it once again to Alan Donovan. To Geraint John, to Cardiff. Cardiff has got Caudle outside. Caudle with a catch, with a try. No, it's forward. Well, frustration for Gerald Caudle. He caught the ball well enough and had the line of begging, but the pass is forward.
And great play by both sides, trying to move the ball, to create things, and Cardiff after benefited from this mistake. And Cardiff, he's a very strong man. There's the pass, he goes for that gap. Look, ball underneath his arm, he's tearing through, but Bath tackled very, very well. And there's the forward pass, and there the movement halts.
So still an injury to one of the Cardiff players. Looks as if it was Richard Cardus, badly tackled. Yes, indeed. In that good movement by Cardiff. Well, it's going to be a Bath scrum, but Cardiff's dominance in the scrummages has been such that they've got one against the head at least, and who knows, Mike Burton, they might fancy a good shot from here.
Yeah, I would say this would be interesting scrimmage now, because Cardiff could well call their drive and just see if they can get the second pushover try.
See, there's the drive. They call Bath in all kinds of problems.
Be a Bath collapse that, actually. You know, it's wonder Clive Norling never stepped in and had a word there, because Bath knew they were going to go backwards, and they went down, I think, from the number 8 forwards in some sort of fashion.
So down they go.
Rearguard action.
So it's a Cardiff put in. Let's see what kind of a drive they can put forward this time. They've got one push-over try. Right, here they go. The snapshot will be called any moment now. No, they decide instead to run the ball. Geraint John on the far side of Hadley. And the miss move. The ball knocked forward. Well, Phil Bennett, Hadley had the opportunity of possession that time, but you won't be proud of that.
No, it was a hard pass which he didn't take, but I would just wish that they'd move it simply and wide across to him and just let the ball do the work.
Because certainly he's had the better of the Bath defence on the rare occasions that he's been given the possession. Steve Knight, the scrum half, who works at GCHQ at Cheltenham. That's why they call him the spy in the Bath camp. Gets the ball away to Phil Q, the Undertaker. And it's a mighty long kick from Q. Hadley's back there. He's got the time to set something up. He's got Rhea inside. Hadley in full flight up towards the 10-metre line. To Rhea. Rhea, Caudle outside. Well, he might have passed the ball a little bit sooner, but Owen Golding gets the ball back to Hadley, to Robert Laking in the outside half position, to Donovan on the far side. Geraint John takes hold of possession. Back it comes to Alan Donovan. Tries to find a way through the Bath defence. Hadley going and chasing. Got two men outside. Goes on his own to Rhea. And this is superb Cardiff rugby. To Caudle. A cross-field kick. It's not a lengthy one. So who's got the ball after all of that? It looks as if it might be Bath ball that they know indeed. Cardiff has smuggled it away. And we've got two or three scrum halves waiting for it. Pritchard is ready for the feed. Out it comes to Caudle, to Geraint John, and Cardiff backs lining up. Oh, it's a brilliant tackle by Alan Buzzer, but still it's Cardiff in possession. And what a period of play this is. Hadley trying to drive through, gives it to the skipper, Alan Phillips, and eventually the whistle, and huge applause. And why shouldn't it be? Because that was really tremendous New Year's Day rugby. There are going to be 30 very tired men going to be on that field by the end of this game. The conditions heavy, as you can see, and we've had this open rugby.
And I've been saying that Aidan Hadley hasn't had enough ball, but he's had plenty of ball in the last few minutes, and Cardiff have moved it from every angle, and they're trying desperately to break this Bath defence, but magnificent tackling by Bath. Mike Burton has been a bit low with my pal to give them credit, because I think he plays for Gloucester, you know, but I tell you, they've tackled him with great pride this afternoon, and there's Hadley again in the movement. Look at that tackling. They will not die. He seems to be going in here for a try, but bang, he's knocked down again. Cardiff there in greater numbers than Bath, and it seems as if they could have scored, but great defence by Bath.
Is it all to do with your allegiance to Gloucester, Mike?
No, not at all. This is just as bad as Glenathley and Swansea. We're having no. Look, what I think the Queen has missed 1 or 2 points here in the birthdays honours list, and that is that Buzzard and Palmer should have had VCs, OBEs, or MBEs or something, because they've tackled brilliantly there. But inevitably, you know, they're going to collapse against this wall of attack. Brilliant rugby by Cardiff.
Knight with the feed and Bath under pressure. That's not the cleverest of kicks from Alan Buzzer. Hadley now then, just for Phil Bennett in possession. Once again, up towards the 22, finds the support from Forster going over the 22. And thundering action from the big Welsh lock. Pritchard, will he scoop the ball? He's got it out to Alan Donovan. The switch of the attack to Michael Rhea. Oh, this is glorious rugby. Geraint John, back he goes to Hadley. And Cardiff still in possession on the 22. Back it comes from Pritchard. Is there a way through this time? Geraint John, half tackle to Graham Pritchard. Driving it forward, gaining 2 or 3 metres. And now the setup for Cardiff. Well, great applause from the crowd again. They've thoroughly enjoyed this match, and it certainly isn't the rampant display that some people anticipated with this depleted Bath side. Only 1 point in it, 16 points to 15. Cardiff in the lead. Let's see what Cardiff can do with this attacking scrum. Only some 6 or 7 metres from the Bath try line. The pickup is by Robert Laking to Owen Golding to Geraint John. Golding with a good pass to Caudle. Where's young Caudle going? To midfield. He's going a long way round. Will he find the way? It would be dramatic if he did. The pass eventually coming to Cardiff on that far side. And Gareth Roberts has eventually got the try. Gareth Roberts, the try scorer, his 10th of the season. Well, what a wonderful wayward run that was by Gerald Caudle, which set it all up. Great play by the Cardiff 15. And the tiredness beginning to show in the Bath tackling, with Cardiff enjoying all this possession.
And let's give credit to Gerald Caudle. He's taken a bit of stick from the crowd for his handling this afternoon, but he's the key man that has set up this movement. He was outstanding in that movement because he went right across the field and his speed created the try, and it was good back row play eventually by Gareth Roberts that got him the try. But let's give credit to Gerald Caudle.
So it's Geraint John who has converted one superb conversion from the touchline on the other side of the field this time. So let's see if he's just as accurate. 2-3 metres outside the 22. It's a high kick, but he's gone to the right of the post this time, so no extra points. Cardiff having to be satisfied with that scoreline of 20 points to 15.
And you see, he's emmed into the touchline, Caudle, and he goes right across the field. I thought he was running backwards and wasn't going to make ground, but he's very, very quick, Gerald Caudle, and he goes outside a lot of Bath players. And when he sees that he's emmed in, look, he looks for the lovely inside pass. Good support play by Hadley, and there is the Cardiff player, and Gareth Roberts, just reward for supporting. He's over for an excellent Cardiff try. Good back row play.
So the pressure still being taken back towards the Bath 22, with Bath having kicked off, but a massive reply kick, and so it's going to be a line out just outside the Bath 22. So it's Alan Phillips with the throw. Bath quite accustomed to being in this position in the second half against this very, very strong wind. Phillips, and away come Bath. It's the number 8 Bevan once again. It's anybody's ball. Donovan picks up. Geraint John on the 10-metre line. He's got Hadley outside, but comes back inside. A good little run by Geraint John. Norster charging like a bull right through the Bath defence, sets it up as Cardiff wait for the possession. But suddenly it's Bath who gain the initiative, doing exceptionally well in that tight corner. And so a scrum inside the Bath 22. Full credit to Bath. They really have tackled well up until this point, but I'm afraid the tiredness might tell in the tackling, and also having to yield in the scrums as well. And the man injured is Steve Knight, young scrum half, only 20 years of age. So on comes the Bath trainer.
And here's another chance to look at that try which Caudle set up. You see, he's emmed in, shows good vision, comes right across the field. Now this man is very, very quick. Look, he's going outside Bath defenders. I thought he might have passed the ball, but again he goes outside Bath defenders. Now here's the vital moment. Just there's the inside pass to Hadley. Now good support play by Cardiff, but look at Gareth Roberts, as every back row forward should do. He's supporting well, and he gets his just reward because he's done the hard work, and it's a simple task for him now, and he's over. Excellent try for Roberts.
20 points to 15. White with the feed deep inside his own 22, and life becoming increasingly difficult for the young scrum half. Cardiff's power beginning to show. The whistle from referee Clive Dawling, and of course, as David Parry-Jones mentioned at half-time, we've yet to see a penalty in the second half. There were a couple of occasions where St. Dawling might have awarded one, but he's kept to the spirit of the festive rugby. Knight, and there's the drive by Cardiff, and one against the head again. Pritchard waiting for the service. And anybody's ball as Bath go across, drive in, try to smother the attack. and the onus of responsibility of sorting it all out resting on the capable shoulders of Clive Dorling. 15 minutes to go till the final whistle. And is there a try in the offing here? Pritchard with the put in, a collapse of the scrum on that far side. Certainly the wind is beginning to pick up. It's becoming a very cold afternoon indeed. Pritchard again. 2 or 3 metres, that's all. Cardiff have to slant drive. And they go for it this time. Oh, the Bath 8 holding them up so far. Pritchard with the release to Hadley. Don't think he was quite expecting that pass. But it comes to Owen Golding, who sets it up for Cardiff. Pritchard, the scrum half, in attendance and waiting for the service. And here it comes eventually. A lovely little pick up by Alan Donovan. Has he got the space? Oh, Gareth Roberts is going to score a second. Now that might even bring a smile to Gareth Roberts' face. A back row try, Mike Burton, and well taken.
Yes, opportunist doing his job there, just took it in behind the ball carrier, lovely blindside break. Donovan popped it back up to him, and there's Roberts popping in for a superb try. And there it is, with Hadley coming back in across, bumping into the cover defence, ball being carried forward. Good Bath tackling again. Look, they've done well, this Bath. Valiant pack, fought well, but really not up to the mark today. Lakin doing his bit, trying to get it away. Donovan picks up, goes blind, does a little switch inside to Roberts, dives over, finishes the move off. Do you know, Cardiff just lost their third strike of the game against the head, and that really is ominous now, because every scrummage now is hard work. If you notice that lateral run of Cordell's just now, 3 players missed him, and the tiredness in the tackling is beginning to show.
Well, there's no tiredness in the kicking of Geraint John. A lovely conversion to add to the Cardiff score, with Cardiff going into the lead by 26 points to 15 and getting some respectability on the scoreboard.
And another angle, you see, it's all about good support play. I keep on saying you've got to work off the ball, and there's Gareth Roberts working off the ball. Lovely pass by Donovan that created it, and Gareth Roberts, he's in for his second try.
Cue to restart. Up goes Robert Dorster. Ball comes back on the Bath side, however, with Knight trying to find a path clear on the short side. Well, Bath have yet to win on the Arms Park, and of course any ambitions that they had of doing the double this season is severely dented by the selection policies of the England selectors. And of course they won't be able to do it again, because the games between the two clubs are restricted to 1 a season. This is Phil Kew. Guscott been called in. That might have been a little bit forward, with the pass going to Greg Best eventually. Referee Clive Dorling, quite wisely, a little bit liberal, keeping the fluidity of the game going. Greg Best to throw in. Was a regular in the Bath lineup up until about a season and a half ago. It has had a lot of injury problems, head injury problems, has the Bath hooker, number 2. Graham Pritchard, Geraint John. He enjoyed that one because he knew that he had the wind behind, just relaxed a little, struck the ball. So the line out right on the halfway line. And Whitefoot goes through for Cardiff. The ball knocked forward. And so a 15-metre scrum. Knight with the feed. And a massive drive coming from the Cardiff 8. The pressure really on the Bath pack. Suddenly Alan Buzzer having a bit of a run. Comes back to the Welshman Bevan. On the far side, then it's Maslin with a long throw on the far side. And Bath still willing to enter into the spirit of things by running the ball in the 3/4. So a scrum on the 10-metre line. Graham Pritchard. his 6th appearance with Geraint John in the Cardiff colours this season. And here's Cardiff on the 10-metre line, up toward the 22. Will he have the speed to go all the way? He's looking for Caudle. Hadley with the pick-up. Oh, Gerald Caudle is not having any luck at all. Cardiff is producing the breaks. He is not happy.
How would he feel if he's a prop, then? You don't get a past 2 seasons, you know what I mean?
Knight with the throw. Or with the put-in, rather. Turns very well indeed. Gets a good little kick into touch. He's been under a lot of pressure, has the 20-year-old, but has served his club well. Alan Phillips, the Cardiff captain, delighted, no doubt, with the scoreline. Possibly would like a few more points, though, to give it respectability over this much depleted Bath side. Geraint John, midfield. Cardiff waits for the loop. Back it comes to Robert Lakin. The pass to nobody in particular, picked up by Cardiff. Goes inside this time. Didn't go Cardiff. Geraint John. Gareth Roberts, surely he doesn't want another try. I just wonder, Phil Bennett, I've certainly noticed that the temperature has dropped at Cardiff, whether that might explain some of the faulty handling. It's quite cold out there.
It is very cold, and you have to say that the lads, they must be cold, their fingers must be numb, but there has been a lot of drop passes, especially by Cardiff.
Knight, nearly had icicles on it. And it comes, though, to Buzzer. It's full of running as the Loughborough College student. Didn't get very far that particular time. Away come Bath, and they've aligned, the 3/4 are there. Q, a half little break to Chris Martin on the far side to Tony Swift. Swift back inside, goes to field Q. Bath still going, Alan Buzzer, and here's a little break on that far side. It's going to be Tony Swift. Will he get in? No, indeed, and it's Mike Ware with the interception. Gareth Roberts. But the pickup is by Alan Buzzer on that far side. Well, play is still going on, despite a couple of offside options for poor referee Clive Norling. Up comes Mike Ware to Cardiff. He gives the ball early to Caudle, up against Guscott. And a super tackle there by Guscott on Gerald Caudle. But away come Bath, it's Chris Martin. A saving tackle by Geraint John. Oh, great rugby, huge applause, and I wonder, Mike Burton, would you fancy playing in a game as open as this?
Well, no, not at my time of life. But, you know, it's fascinating the way these Bath backs have run it, you know, because it makes one wonder what might have been if they'd have got some decent ball. And Phil was saying just now that Cardiff have been a little bit slack in their handling. Perhaps they've had too much ball, you know, because the pack has played very well for Cardiff. They've dominated line-outs, ruck maul, second phase stuff, and certainly at the scrummage. But every time the Bath 3/4 have had a chance to move the ball, they've done so. They've entered into the spirit of the game, and, you know, really, you've got to have a little bit of sympathy for them, because they've had a lot of tackling to do. They've carried that out courageously, but really not had a lot for an afternoon's work, and a hard afternoon's work too.
And tremendous rugby by both sides. You know, let's remember that amateur players, it's New Year's Day, they would have enjoyed themselves last night, but they've given their all. But look at that tackling again. They will not lie down and die, Bath, and their tremendous play by the Bath back row.
So after all that excitement, it'll be a line out 10 metres outside, 10 metres outside the 22-metre line. Geraint John, who put in a lovely ankle tap tackle on Chris Martin. Injured his hand a little bit. So Geraint John receiving the attention. And Alan Martin ready to throw the ball in. There's the man with the new curly creation, but full credit to him this afternoon. He's kept this game going at a merry pace indeed. Has allowed the advantage options. He's possibly ignored a few penalties as well.
Yes, and will it be a world record, Martin? There's not been one shot at goal. He's entered into the spirit of things. Let's hope it continues in the last few seconds.
Alan Phillips, all set to throw the ball in. Cronin gets a hand to it as Blackmore goes through for Cardiff. Knight with the feed. And Cardiff encroaching a little bit and putting the drive on in the scrum. It's Phil Q. And Bath caught 6 and 7s, but Bevan recovers well. On their far side, it's to Buzzer to Chris Martin. Martin tries a rather ambitious flip pass inside. And away come Bath. And they got a try left in them. Kick ahead. Cordell picks it up in the defensive position and comes round and will now look for support. Finds Cardus. Well, it's a long way to go. And a good tackle by Guscott. Picked up, and is Guscott in the move, trying to get the ball to Damien Cronin. The pass is forward, and it's going to be a set scrum. 10 metres outside the Cardiff 22. Pritchard ready to put the ball in. The Cardiff youth product. There's the Cardiff scrum half. Back it comes to Richard Cardus. He's still full of running. To Cordell. Well, it's unorthodox, but it may pay dividends. The pick-up by Martin. Now looking for a little bit of alignment in the Bath three-quarters. To Swift on the far side, to John Palmer, the captain. To Buzzer, but there's nobody there. Cardiff have possession. Lakin comes away with it to Donovan. Donovan to Geraint John. He's got Cardus, but John has got the speed to Cordell. This is going to be a race for the line between Cordell and Chris Martin. Cordell has got his just reward. He's got a try at last. His 11th of the season. And a huge round of applause. And eventually a smile from young Mr. Cordell.
And both sides thrown about in gay abandon now, and I think Cordell's had a good game this afternoon, although the crowd are giving him some stick, and it's good handling, and they've sucked the Bath cover in on that far side, and Geraint John does well because he takes the men in, and there's a lovely time pass coming up. There it is, releases Cordell. Now he's still got about 30 metres to go, and a Chris Martin after him, and he's no slouch, but Cordell's a flyer. He deserves his try. He's worked very hard, and he's over for a great try for Cardiff.
Yes, and just listen to the applause for Gerald Cordell. The crowd have given him a bit of a rough time, as Phil Bennett mentioned, because of his rather erratic handling at times, but no mistaking that particular try. That was class. And so it's Geraint John hoping to add another 2 points to the Cardiff score. So a fair number of people on the balconies of the Westgate Street flats. Geraint John with a kick. Has that one gone inside? Yes, it has. Geraint John putting Cardiff into the lead by 32 points to 15. One wonders what the thoughts of the England internationals, those in Bath colours sitting in the stand, might be at this time. They might have liked a crack at this Cardiff side. Phil Q restarts. Ball taken by Cardiff with Pritchard waiting for the service. Geraint John. Chris Martin having to chase. He's really gone through an awful lot of running, has the Bath fullback. Yes, the knock-on, adjudged by referee Clive Lawling. So very few seconds left in this match. Some 10 seconds to go till injury time. and there'll be additional time added on because it's an injury to Alan Donovan this time. And Alan Donovan asking Clive Walling how much time to go. Well, we can tell him we are now into injury time. Well, Mike Burton, 32 points to 15. I suppose it was rather inevitable with Cardiff, with a wind in the second half would put it on them, but I think everybody here at the Arms Park will take their hats off to this plucky Bath side.
Oh, very courageous, yes. And if I sounded a little bit sort of depressed earlier watching the performance, it really wasn't anything against Bath. The thing is that it's inevitable that they were going to lose. The wave of red jerseys coming at them time after time, tackle after tackle. They've had a lot of hard work to do, but VC's all round. I said earlier that it would be for these Bath midfield pair, Palmer and Buzzer, they're tackling, but everyone's played well from the fullback to the prop, and full credit to the 15 of them.
So Scrum just on the 10-metre line. Mike gets the ball out to Q. Phil Q. It's a massive pass to Chris Martin, and he's got Gusgood outside him if required. It's John Palmer, the support man, eventually to Tony Swift. The ball still alive until the blast of the whistle from Mr. Maulding. Terry Guscott showing a bit of pace there and some good understanding. And yet another injury, and it's Alan Donovan. Alan Donovan might well be coming off the field, and so it's Donovan, 6 caps and a former captain of the English and British colleges, leaving the field.
And Bath not surrendering. That's a long pass, but just watch who's there. There's Chris Martin showing good pace, looking for support. There's Palmer as captain, but look who's there. The right wing, Tony Swift, never stopping working.
Pritchard with Cardiff one man down in the 3/4, waiting for the possession to give it to Geraint John. I don't think Geraint John enjoyed that particular pass. Neil O'Brien is the replacement for Alan Donovan, and O'Brien going out into the centre position. So a shortened line-out. I haven't seen many of those during the course of the game. This one being called by Bath. Cronin is the tall man at the back of the line-out, but he comes back on the Cardiff side. There might still be a little bit of life left in the Bath ranks, and the possibility of a try. So 3 minutes of injury time gone, and this a defensive put in for Graham Pritchard. Pritchard with a feed. Pritchard scoops it out to Cardiff. Well, there's a fair amount of tiredness in the legs and in the limbs. But in fairness, we've had an excellent game to get 1987 underway. Once again, a shortened line-out being called by Bath. Cronin to Knight, to Q, to Palmer. John Palmer, the captain, looking for the support, finds him from Bevan. Bath trying to put something together, and that's the first penalty of the game. Alan Phillips, of all people, the Cardiff captain, blotting the record book, and we will have our very first penalty. Full credit, Bath are running the ball to Damien Cronin. Cronin's going to score for Bath. Well, there wasn't much tackling about, but Damien Cronin, the Anglo-Scotsman, has the last word, possibly, of this match. And he's had a pretty active game as well, so he'll remember this appearance at Cardiff Arms Park.
Great play by Bath. They've never surrendered, and here's the big second row showing great determination, brushing aside tackles. And I'll tell you one thing, him and the rest of the Bath team can walk off this field with their heads held up high today.
Just converted by Phil Kew. It was a relatively simple kick. So now we've had a celebration game fit for the occasion and the charity appeal. And would you believe that we've had 8 tries scored in this match? And that says it all.
And to say that the last man to score was a Scot on Hogman Hay, isn't that wonderful? We've got it all now.
So it'll be Cardiff to get the game underway. Fair amount of injury time being added on by referee Clive Norling. Good night, John. And the try scorer is hungry for the ball, is young Cronin. Hands it back to Nick Maslin. Knight is back there. Mackens Phil Kew. He's still running left in the Bath three-quarters. John Palmer hands the ball back to Chris Lilly, the prop forward. I wouldn't have thought that a prop forward would have been up with that kind of play. Yes, indeed, Clive Norling whistles for a game that really fitted the occasion. Cardiff eventually winning by a grand total. 32 points to Cardiff, 21 to Bath, but who would have expected such a close scoreline as that, considering the composition of the Bath 15. The tries galore, great running rugby. Cardiff might have done a little bit more with the possession that they had, but let's congratulate these Bath youngsters and reserve players. They came to Cardiff, not much fancied, but what a performance they put up. Cardiff the winners by 32 points to 15.
Well, indeed, two very pleased-looking chairmen of their respective boards. Tony Frith from the Southwest, Dudley Fisher from Wales Gas. Tony, you lost, but what a game. 50-odd points.
I think it's a marvellous game. And the most important thing is, I think today, it's been a good, clean game, and charity has benefited. Help the Aged will benefit very much.
Dudley Fisher, Wales, what's your assessment of this afternoon?
Well, a good game of rugby. Very good for British, for Help the Aged. The two coaches over there bear witness to that.
Good. Well, we mustn't let the players get cold. So, are you going, as the sort of the Wales chairman, the winning chairman, are you going to make the presentation?
No, I'm going to give that privilege to Mr. Tony Frith.
Don't let's keep the players, let them get cold. Alan Phillips is over there, number 2. Off you go.
Game. Congratulations on winning this Gas Challenge Shield. Excellent. Congratulations.
Well done, Alan. Well done.
Alan, congratulations on winning the Challenge Charity Shield. A harder afternoon than you'd bargained for.
I could feel the beer from last night after the game. Excellent game, good start. Pity it wasn't a full-strength Bath side, but the Bath boys give a good account of themselves, and I'm pleased the way the game went.
Should it happen again, an occasion like this?
Oh, I think so, yeah. Just have a word with England selectors next time.
Congratulations, off to the shower, all of you. I'm going to talk to John Palmer, standing in for Richard Hill. Bad luck, great game of rugby.
Yeah, it was a joy to play in, really. Both sides gave everything. I think all credit to Clive Norling, referee. Helped a great deal. It's very enjoyable.
I thought your young players did you proud, and the tackling was superb. And let's hope in compensation that Bath get a lot of caps in the next England team, eh?
Yeah, well, obviously these youngsters have had to do it quite a number of times, and we'll be with them on Saturday. All the lads are away, and we hope the best for them. Yeah.
Good. We met Richard Hill on BBC Wales Television earlier in the autumn. Give him our good wishes for 1987 and to Bath RFC.
Will do. Thank you very much.
Good. Right, well, let's find a camera, someone looking at me, and good heavens, I've been joined by Mike Burton and Raymond Gravel. You were here too, a fugitive from Llanelli.
2 golden oldies, yes, I brought good tidings from West Wales. Sadly, we didn't have quite a successful year last year, but this year it's going to be a good one. David, I thoroughly enjoyed today. The game was played in most magnificent spirit, considering that Bath had 12 of their players unavailable because of the trial on Saturday. Tremendous. And also, I must pay tribute to the referee, Clive Norling. I wish that more referees would adopt this attitude of leaving the game go, leaving the advantage carry on, because it makes it more interesting, not only for the players, but for spectators alike. And that can be only for the good of rugby.
Was I right, Ray? Just one penalty in the end, wasn't there?
2 penalties, no, 1 penalty, I think. Yes, I believe you are right. And that reflects how the game went and how it was refereed.
Mike, I was standing down with the crowd who were very noisy, very enthusiastic. I couldn't hear much of what you were saying up with Phil and
it was all good stuff, all intelligent
Martin.
stuff.
What did you think of it?
Well, it was all good stuff, as Ray said. You see, it's all very well these referees allowing the game to flow and centre saying it's great stuff. What if you're a prop? You got all that double running, you see.
Well, he wouldn't understand that, would he?
You see, it's all difficult stuff when you get to...
But you were a running prop, Mike.
I was always going in the but I was always going in the wrong direction, somebody told me. No, it was marvellous stuff. And, you know, a holiday like this, it's Hogmanay, the last man to score was a Scot, the first man to score was an Englishman, and a Welsh team won, so isn't that marvellous? You got it all worked out.
And the English team had a Welshman amongst them, and also the Welsh team had an Englishman amongst them.
Oh, marvellous, marvellous.
I put this point to Phil Bennett beforehand, Ray, but what about Charity Shield games like this? Are they too much like a fun occasion, or is there enough needle to please the purists?
Well, I was doing the commentary with Hugh Llewellyn-Davies for S4C, and it wasn't a fun element. I think it was deadly serious, and I believe it's a good thing, and I take my cap off to the Gazprom for doing this. The champions of England and Wales meeting, well, it can only create interest, and I think it did. The crowd we saw here today was marvellous, and they were thoroughly entertained by open running rugby, considering the conditions and the rain that we've had in Wales during the last week. I thoroughly enjoyed myself.
You think Gloucester would like to take part in one of these?
Yeah, I think myself, right, you might be a busy and a good one, but what I do think, you know, if they can get something that's off the ground properly so that we get Bezier, maybe Hoyk or Gala, the best team in England, the best team in Wales, in something where, you know, it is a charity thing, this sort of, someone benefits to help the aged or whoever it is, and you've got this style of rugby. There wasn't a lot of kneel, it doesn't have to be a champion, and it's a grand day out on a holiday, you know.
We might as well plug one West Country Wales fixture. Isn't your club due in Wales?
Oh, they're up and down there all the time because we're class.
Yeah, but on Saturday.
I don't know.
Neath.
Oh, they're at Neath.
Heard of Neath?
The Ayatollah. You ought to be in terrible trouble. But you know, but I tell you what it is. We're so close to the border. We're thinking of applying to the Welsh Rugby Union and swapping with Newport so they can get up and play with us. You see.
You will have a bit of a job getting in.
I know.
This is getting argumentative. We've got to stop it. Thank you both very much for coming down to the mud. I got wellies on. Your shoes are getting muddy.
Thank you.
I've got to finish the programme. Okay. That's just about it from all of us at Cardiff Arms Park. The next time we'll have rugby on BBC. Oh, we're going up to Martin first before we leave you. Martin Williams.
Yes, a New Year's resolution that you mustn't forget them who are in the cold upstairs. Well, Phil Bennett, lovely to hear John Palmer say that he thoroughly enjoyed being involved in that game.
Yeah, I think he made the point, you know, Martin, that 31 players took part of 32 there today. It's New Year's Day. We all celebrated last night, but they went out and entertained us today, and they deserved...
Did you really?
We had a few beers, yes, but it was marvellous, and some great tries. And you know, we can see some of the tries here. You know, there's Lakin going, passing inside, and I think this was tremendous play by Cardiff because they never let the movement die down, and the ears were Cordley, took some stick as you said, but look at his speed going across that field, leaving the Bath defenders in his wake. I thought he was going to run out of space, but the key movement is, as he goes on the outside here, is this lovely flick inside pass to Aidan Hadley. Lovely pass there, good support play, and there's Gareth Roberts, who I thought an excellent game. He's deserved this try because he's worked hard off the ball, and he's going to stride over for his try. Well deserved, Gareth Roberts.
And that's the type of try that Mike Burton would detest, with Gerald Cordell running right across field.
But we can see again that Bath, they're never letting the ball die. They're always looking to counter-attack and always looking to move the ball. But when it goes loose, Bob Lakin, again, a tremendous player for Cardiff, plays with commitment, and again looking for the loose ball. And when it comes there, there's Lakin, who's been involved earlier, and some lovely handling, a good pass from Donovan. And Gerard joined as well because he sucks in the cover, a dummy run. But look at Cordell's pace here. There's Chris Martin, the full-back, who's no slouch chasing him, but Cordell shows tremendous speed. He deserved that. Excellent try.
Hey, here we are. Here's some pleased faces seeing that final try. That is really just about it from Cardiff Arms Park, and this lot of pleased because we'll have more lively rugby for you on Sunday in Rugby Special Wales on BBC 2 in Wales. The first Sunday of the new year, 1977. I hope we'll have you with us. From Cardiff Arms Park, bye.